Hey, and welcome to the Systems Boutique podcast. I'm Dr. Ramona H. Lawrence. Most people just simply call me Dr. Ramona. I'm your systems stylist and your business operations expert, and I'm here to help you build a high-end boutique-style back-end that creates ease and scalability for you without sacrificing the luxury experience your clients absolutely deserve. So if you're a speaker, a coach, a consultant, a course creator, or author who's ready to stop the overwhelm, ditch the tech confusion, and finally streamline your systems and operations, you are in the right place. Each week, I'll bring you actionable strategies, expert insights, and behind-the-scenes business systems and operations insights to help you scale with ease, efficiency, and absolute excellence. So grab your notebook, your favorite cup of coffee or tea, and let's get to work. Welcome to the Systems Boutique, where systems meet style. Hey, and welcome back to the Systems Boutique podcast. I am so excited to bring you into episode 2. We are in the boutique with Toki Simmons. This is episode 2 of our series with her, and we are talking all things finances as we end this year and move into 2026. And so, Toki, welcome back. We are always so excited to have the financial guru in the boutique to style our.
I'm always excited to be here, girl.
Well, at the end of last episode, we ended by talking about making sure that if you have this beautiful front end, then everything should be the same in the back end, right? We need to have everything together. We need to have that confidence that everything is in place. And so I told everybody I was stopping it right there so that they could tune back into this episode, which is receipts, reports, and the runway. And we're going to talk about accounting basics. Here we are. Accounting can be extremely scary, right?
Sure.
It can be like, oh, here are these numbers. I see all these things on these spreadsheets. And if you are not a spreadsheet person, it is like, people gloss over, shut down.
Zoom out.
They zoom out, right?
Mhm.
And so I want you to just break this down a little bit for us. And first of all, just tell us what systems we need for tracking income and expenses. So what types of things, the basic things that we could use to do that?
Anything that's going to help you see your money in real time,
Mhm.
right? If you are still a pen and paper person, if you want to use spreadsheets, if you want to use accounting softwares like QuickBooks, by all means, as long as you can see your numbers in real time and depending on how large of a business you are.
Mhm.
Right. So if you are making over $100,000 in revenue and you are still DIYing this, the Systems Boutique is where you need to be because baby, you shopping at the thrift store and that's not where we want you at. Okay. You gotta elevate. You gotta move up a bit. And you have to recognize that even though each of these systems are special, I'll use that word in their own way, recognize that there are limitations to them all and there's a time for each of them, right? So starting out and using the pen and paper, it's fine. Actually, I met with someone yesterday and she uses her notes in her phone. And I'm like, that's good. And it's going to get you but so far. But now when I'm asking you what your bottom line is, if you can't tell me, it's time to move on. Right. And so, yeah, using the spreadsheet, perfectly fine. But recognize that human error is going to take place more than not. And so you can find that you haven't recorded something or you transposed a number or any of those things. And then again, when it's time for you to offer up reports, let's just say you want to get a bank loan or you want to bring on a partner or you're thinking about hiring or maybe purchasing some land or a building. If you cannot provide those reports to help you make these decisions, time to move on, right? So this is and you know me, I'm always talking about these different levels because we're all on different levels and hopefully we're all building upon to the next one. And so when you need an accounting system, it's definitely time for you to bring on someone. They don't have to be a full-time person. It can be somebody that just comes on once a month, making sure that your numbers line up with what has happened, all the activity that has happened in your banks. Maybe if there's not that many transactions, you don't have a lot of activity because there's some businesses, especially service-based businesses, where we operate so lean, where it's the same things coming in and out. We don't need a lot of overview and we don't need a lot of time or effort spent in keeping our books straight. So maybe they can come in every quarter and spend a few hours. But you need to relinquish this control of your books. You need to. You did not get into business to do your finances. You got into business to do the thing that you love. And so relinquishing this control will help you stay creative. It will help reduce decision fatigue because now you have data when you need it. And it'll also help with your bandwidth because we're trying to do all the things. We don't need to do all the things. We need to do the one thing that we are qualified to do that lights us up and the thing that's going to help us bring in more revenue is sitting behind the desk with the pen and paper, with the Excel sheet, or in front of an accounting software is not the thing that's going to help us do that.
So as we think about that help, because I love the concept of the who, not the how. So I don't need to learn all of the accounting lingo that you know and all of the things. I just want to partner with somebody. So when we think about this, there's this idea of a bookkeeper and there's an accountant. So tell us, what is the difference between having a bookkeeper and having an accountant?
Sure. So a bookkeeper is going to help you manage your day-to-day transactions. That's the one that's going to be behind the scenes with you every month, reconciling your account, saying, I see you have this come in. These are the expenses that went out. And not there to help you strategize. And damn it, hear me, they are not there to give you tax advice. Do not ask your bookkeeper for tax advice. Another thing is respect them enough to know that they're not administration either. So you don't need somebody that's there for administration being your bookkeeper. It's two separate responsibilities and make sure you respect it enough, right? So I see that all the time. It's like, who handles your book? My admin. I'm like, no, your admin is not a bookkeeper.
Yes.
And your bookkeeper should not be your admin. So let me say that. Respect them enough because bookkeepers are the foundation to your financial success. So we need to give them that respect. Put some respect on that name. And then when it comes to an accountant, so an accountant is going to help you, a tax accountant is going to help you with tax planning. They're going to help you strategize a bit. They're going to help walk you through the process of what information or what categories or what things you need to be spending on that's going to help reduce your tax liability. So they're going to help you in that regard. Two different things, two different people, two different situations. And again, the accountant is only going to take you so far. So remember, again, there's limitations, right? And then after the accountant, here's where someone like myself comes in, where we're giving you strategies and we're giving you action steps and we're taking you towards some futuristic things that we need to speak about. That's where we come in. And so, again, different levels. Now, do some of these things work together or intertwine or overlap? Absolutely.
No.
Because it's all finance. Whether it's the higher level, the mid level, or the low level, we're still all talking about the same things. We're just talking about them from a different perspective.
Yes, that's so good. And so I love the fact, Toki, that we're talking about these levels and the different things that we were saying as we were moving up in our business. And so when you're thinking about these levels and the different things that we need to be doing with our finances, what do you think are some monthly to-dos like we must do in our business if we're going to stay financially confident?
Have a date with your money. You gotta always take a look at your numbers. And again, that word numbers can be triggering, but I don't want that to be a cringe-worthy word. Because if we want to make money, we want to be successful, we want to make these millions, the word numbers or looking at your books can't cause you to feel this type of anxiety. You need to be at peace with that. You need to want to go in learning about where you stand financially. So, yeah, making sure that you have a date with your money, looking at your books every single month is extremely important. We make decisions every single day, and we can't make decisions just based on guessing. We have to know where we stand financially. The other thing is making sure that the numbers are reconciled. What does that mean? That means that whatever activity is happening in and out and throughout your bank accounts, this also needs to be reconciled within your accounting system to say these two things, they match and they line up and you're good to go. There's nothing there that we call like ghost expenses where we have no idea where they came from or what they are. And then making sure that all of the systems that we're paying for that we haven't outgrown, or that we didn't just subscribe to these things because they were shiny and new and what everybody is getting on the internet and on social media, and then we're not using them. So we're looking over these things that we call leaks and making sure that we're spending our money in the right places at the right time. And so the books are reconciled. We've gone through the expenses. We're recognizing that everything there makes sense. And also the income, not just the expenses. Let's not forget about that. Making sure all the money that you received has been accounted for, and making sure that the money that you were supposed to get has been accounted for. I've had clients where they have ran credit cards and $17,000 worth of these charges were not ever placed in their bank. So it's like you swipe the card or you key in the numbers and you're just assuming that this money hits your bank account. Well, sometimes that third party or that merchant, there's some sort of holdup for whatever the reason, and you're thinking that this money has come in and it hasn't. So it's important every month to sit down and look at your revenue and look at your expenses and make sure all of these things are accounted for and that they make sense.
That's good. And so as I think about this idea of the P&L, the profit and loss statement. And so many people, as you said before, they just glaze over, they zone out when they're looking at this statement. And if you don't put together a P&L already, you really need to go and talk to Toki. So we got to get this started. But you should, if you're a business owner, know what a P&L is. But Toki, tell us what a profit and loss statement is. And then what are the key things that we need to be looking at on this statement so that we can really manage our business and make business decisions wisely?
Sure. So profit and loss, AKA income statement, AKA statement of activity. They're all the same things. And it presents to you, again, your revenue, that's your top line, any cost of goods that may need to come out, and then it will give you your gross revenue, meaning this is the amount of money that came in. This is the amount of money it took me to make that money. And now here's the actual gross that I've actually received. From that, then it's all of your expenses, whatever that may be. It's because it's going to calculate for you. You are then looking at, here's my net profit overall. And that's where most people stop. They say, this is what I made. This is what I spent. So this is what I have left over. No, that's not where it stops. What you have to then look at is you start looking at your profit margins. Are you actually making a profit on the work that you're doing or the products that you're selling? And then what is that benchmark? Is it 30%? Are you looking at 20%? Because we can be operating a business and things could be looking fantastic at the boutique, right? And we're window shopping because that's what we're doing. We're looking at this window on this P&L and we're thinking, oh my God, I made $500,000. But then I think we talked about this before. If you spent 450,000 just to operate this business, what is your point? To come out with 50,000? Now, 50,000 to some people may sound like a lot of money, but over the course of 12 months, that's like $6,000 a month. Go get a job, right? You have to recognize that the money, whatever you're making, and we're talking about the P&L, but whatever money that you're making that is making sense at the end of the day. You don't want to kill yourself to make 100,000, 250, even $1 million, whatever it is, and you're not paying attention to your profit and loss where it's telling you a story. The financials tell you a story, and that story could be that you're spending more than you're making, right? That your business is actually a hobby, that your business is in jeopardy, or that you're not charging enough, the margins are not high enough. It can tell you all of these things. It can even tell you that, listen, it's time for you to pay yourself more. It's time for you to give out bonuses. It's time for you to now restructure. It will tell you that story. So yes, you do need to look at your profit and loss. And again, that's what you need to look at. You need to look at how much you're bringing in. Look at how much you're spending. Look at what that bottom line is, and then begin to determine
No.
where you are financially, what the health of your business is, what those margins are. Those are the kind of things that you need to be looking for.
Yeah, and just at the point where we can have an intelligent conversation with an accountant or whoever our financial person is. And I think a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, if I don't know every detail of this and I don't know what it means and I don't know how to interpret it, I'm just not going to do it at all. Right. And that is completely the opposite of how we should be thinking about it. We should be thinking about this lets me speak the language, right? I can speak the language of accounting. I can talk to this person and I can really be in charge of the decisions that I'm making in my business because what's happening is we're already living, especially as women and minority business owners, in a broken system, right? We have broken systems. It's not just set and meant for us to just excel, right? But then we have these self-imposed
Yeah,
systems, the
yes.
self-imposed brokenness that we continue to operate in because we're like, nobody's ever talked to me about this. I haven't ever learned this. I don't wanna talk about it. I don't wanna hear about it. I'm embarrassed about these finances, and then we don't say anything, and then we end up in a worse situation, and so I think that's so important to listen to the story that the
Yeah.
P&L is telling. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dangerous to avoid it. Like you
Mhm.
said, they don't want to look at it because they feel shame, they feel judged, they feel no, it's telling you your story to help you make these decisions, to help you be successful, to help you be sustainable, to help you better yourself, better your business. And so, no, don't look at it like this is something that's so big and so scary. It's not. It's telling you how much money you made. It's telling you how much money you spent. It's telling you what's left over. And then it will help you make decisions, better decisions, wiser decisions on how to move forward. It's not a scary document. And
Yeah.
if you can go sit at a bank and sit with your accountant, you don't have to know the language, but just to say, I know I made 500,000. I know I spent 360,000. I know the percentage of that from my expenses to my revenue. Well, that was, I don't know, 67% of what I brought in. That's a good number. But you know what? Next year, I only want to spend 50% of what I bring in. Just that alone would help them to know that, okay, yeah, they're serious about their business. And this is somebody that I want to help move forward. Please don't get overwhelmed with a profit and loss. It's literally there to help.
Yeah, and as I continue to think about this idea of the story, every piece of the story isn't always what we want it to be. Like it's not the exact scenario. And so sometimes, like if we see a negative number there with profit or whatever, it's just telling us what we need to know for this point in time and helping us to move forward and make decisions about how we can change that. And so if we see the numbers, we can manipulate the numbers, we can do some forecasting and say, if I just do this or if I do these things
Yeah.
differently, then I can turn this number around.
Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. So, right. And I'm glad you brought up the negative number because if you see the negative number, then again, you look at those expenses and say, I'm paying too much in contract labor. I have too many pieces of tech stack. I've spent too much in travel. I've spent too much in meals, whatever the case may be. You're able to look at these numbers and, like you say, we'll use manipulate politely. Like we don't want to get the handcuffs, but we can then make these different decisions that help these numbers become more aligned with where we want to be. That's exactly all that you're doing. That's it.
Yes, I love that. So, Toki, we're going to leave them right there with that food for thought, right? We are going to now go into our finances. We're going to look at those P&Ls. We're going to look at the story, listen to what that financial statement is telling us, and then make decisions based on that, whether the story is good or not what we want it to be right now, right? But we're going to listen to the story and then allow that to move us into the next level of our business. So, Toki, thank you again for this wonderful episode. And we will see you all in the next episode of the Systems Boutique Podcast. Stay tuned. Back with Toki next week. Bye. All right, my chic CEOs. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you found value in today's conversation, do me a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with another star. That's a speaker, a teacher, an author, or a coach who absolutely needs it. And hey, if you're ready to finally get your systems together, let's chat. Head over to thesystemsboutique.com/strategy to book your systems style strategy call, where we'll map out your perfect business back end. So until next time, keep it chic, keep it systemized, and keep shining like the absolute star you are. See ya.